Hello, it's Mr Spracklen here. Welcome to the Inspire to Learn Virtual School Video Archive. This is where we keep all the footage from virtual school from the last few months. And from Monday the 25th of May through to Wednesday the 3rd of June, we're going to be replaying you some of our favourite whole school assemblies. And today, we've got a real treat for you. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Prince of Wales Virtual School. I'm here with Lloyd.
Hello.
And I'm here with Reese.
Hello.
We are very excited this morning because we have a very special assembly in store for you. We have a very special guest joining us remotely today, and I can't wait to introduce you. Before we do introduce our special guest this morning, we have some exciting news for you. Hope the chick was born at 7:43 this morning. Hooray! Hey! Let's have a cheer, boys. Hope the Chick was born this morning, and you can check out the live webcam of Hope the Chick to see her there. Thank you for all the name suggestions that came in. It was great to see so many suggestions for names, and I'm sure we'll happy take some more suggestions coming through. Anyone else that's joining us this morning, do feel free to say hello in the comments box. It'd be great to see who's watching us. But we're going to cross live now because we have a very special visitor. Hello, Lily, who's watching us this morning. Hi, Lily.
Hi.
Thank you very much for joining us. We've got a very special friend of the school. Some of you may have recognised this person because she spent a week working with us recently, doing some volunteer work. But she's joined us this morning with a very special friend. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all well this morning.
Welcome to the Prince of Wales Virtual School, and thank you for joining us for assembly today. I think you've got a very special guest with you.
I have indeed. Yeah, this is the most important person. This is Phoebe, and she's a Harris Hawk. She's one of the 2 Harris Hawks we've got at Kingston Moor Animal Park, and we've also got a Indian eagle owl as well called Loki. Yeah, Phoebe's come to say hello to you this morning.
Oh,
so just to tell you a little.
Oh. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, well, she's very excited to be here. She's probably going to start chewing things. Yeah, just to tell you a little bit about her. So Harris Hawk, some of you might have seen them on documentaries and things, and if ever you've been to a falconry centre or a bird of prey centre, no doubt you've seen these because they're very popular. Harris Hawks come from South America, Central and South America originally. Oh, very nice. But Phoebe didn't. She was bred here. She was actually bred in Weymouth, so not far away at all. She's about 11 now, and I've been working with her for about 5 years. You might see she's doing something a bit strange, just to point that out. She keeps opening her mouth. Now, what she might do in a minute is bring up something called a cast or a pellet. She's obviously waited until we're on the camera to do that. But because what she eats meat which has sort of fluff or fur on it. Sometimes she has to bring that up. Every day she brings up a pellet of the stuff that she can't digest. So if she does bring that up suddenly, don't be frightened. It is normal, and she'll just put it on the floor, and then I'll pick it up a bit later. That's why she keeps making that gaping gesture with her mouth. But yeah, so Harris Hawks, they come from South America. They're a really, really special bird. There's a reason they're so popular, and that's because they're actually a pack hunting bird of prey, and one of the only pack hunting birds of prey that we know of. And they act just like a pack of wolves. They live in a group, a pack, and they're actually known as the wolves of the sky, amongst other things like bay-winged hawk or a dusky hawk. And they have something called a hierarchy. Now that means that they've got a different place in their group. They've got a different position. They all know their position in that group. Now, being a female, being a big girl like Phoebe is, she'd actually be in charge of her pack. And she would, thank you, Phoebe, and she would give out jobs for the rest of her pack. She would show them what they needed to do. So if they were going out hunting, she would be the one that sent out the youngsters and the smaller males. They would chase the food, things like rabbits, small birds, lizards and snakes as well. They'll have a go chasing lizards and snakes. And she would wait and watch the rest of her pack do the chasing, and then right at the end she would come down and actually help catch the prey, catch the food, and then share it out amongst the rest of the pack. So although she's in charge, it doesn't mean that she gets to eat everything by herself. She's very, very good with the fact that she'll share that out amongst the rest of her pack. If she's got a younger or a weaker member of her pack, she will make sure that they stay nice and strong, because when we work as a group, we're only as strong as our weakest member, and they know that, and so they make sure everyone's happy and healthy. So being a pack hunter and being a bit more cooperative, meaning that they like to work together, that's why they're so popular in captivity, in bird of prey centres, because being one of her main trainers, Phoebe sees me as a member of her pack. We work very nicely together. You can see she's quite comfortable. I think she's just spotted herself on the camera. And she trusts me, which is why she sat so nicely with me. She's used to working with me. She knows I've got the food. She knows that I'm going to look after her and keep her safe. But she's not domesticated. She's not like a dog or a cat. It's all based on trust and bond. I see we've got a first question from Mickey, and you're asking, how heavy is she? That's a really good question, because it's really important that we know their weight. So every day that we train her, we weigh her to make sure that, again, she's healthy and that she's going to be okay to fly. So yesterday, I haven't weighed her today yet. Yesterday, she weighed 2 pounds and 1 ounce, which is a different kind of measurement that we usually use. We usually use kilograms and grams, but in falconry and when weighing birds of prey, we like to be quite particular, quite detailed with their weight. So she's 2 pounds and 1 ounce, so just over a kilo. Good age to live to. The oldest one I know of actually lived to 43, but in the wild they wouldn't live that old. They would live to maybe 5, because there's so much that could go wrong out there in the wild. They might not find the food that they want, and it might get cold, or there's predators out there as well. Chloe's asking, what does she feel like to touch? She's very soft. She's got a lot of under feathers. She's got very, very soft under feathers. The top layer of feathers, they're her waterproof coat. So we've got to be very careful when we touch birds of prey. We try not to stroke them a lot, like cats and dogs. If we have to touch them, we do it for a short time and use the back of our hand, because they've got special oils on their feathers, which keeps them dry, keeps them warm. And keeps that nice shine on her feathers. I'll turn her around so you can have a little look. There you go. So she's got that white tail. You see that? It's a bit scruffy at the moment. She's got a lovely brown on her shoulder, light brown on her shoulder. Very dark front. And I'll try and get her to open her wings as well. There we go. Try not to move the camera too much. There you go. So she's actually got quite a big wingspan as well. Her wingspan is about 5 foot, which is quite surprising when it comes to birds of prey. Are her talons sharp? Yes, they are very sharp. She uses her talons to catch her prey. So a bird of prey is a bird that will catch their food using their feet. So things like eagles, hawks, falcons, owls, buzzards, harriers. Maybe you could try and make a list of all the types of birds of prey that you know of, and any particular ones. But their talons have to be very sharp, and the feet have to be very, very strong to be able to catch that food. Did you get it from the wild? No, she didn't come from the wild. She was bred by a gentleman in Weymouth many, many years ago, who used to own lots of birds of prey. Unfortunately, he became poorly and couldn't look after them anymore, and he very kindly gave Phoebe and her sister Emma to us. Emma's in her aviary at the moment. So they've been with the college for about 8 years now, I think, and I've been working with them for about 4 or 5 years, luckily, because they're absolutely lovely birds to work with. But yeah, you can't take birds from the wild in this country. It's against the law, unless they've hurt themselves and they can't look after themselves anymore. And then you can ask to keep them and look after them as long as you know what you're doing. In other countries, though, places like America, they do get their birds of prey from the wild. You do have to apply to do that. You've got to apply for a special license to do that. You can't just go and do it willy-nilly, as it were. But they have a special apprenticeship, which means that they have to learn how to look after the birds of prey properly and prove that they can do it before they own a bird of prey. And like I said, they need to have a license to do that over there. And in some places as well, they will take golden eagles from the wild and they will rear them. They will help, the eagles will help them to catch food and live their lives, and they respect the eagles very, very much. And then when they get to the age where they can start laying eggs, they will let the eagles go back into the wild. So they're very knowledgeable and very respectful to those eagles. What is the biggest bird of prey in this country? Oh, that is a really, really good question. So up north, we have the golden eagle, but we also have the white-tailed sea eagle as well. That's a really special bird of prey. So that's the biggest bird of prey that you get in the United Kingdom. Down this way, though, you'll be seeing things like buzzards. You might be lucky enough to see a red kite as well. Oh, stop pecking. There you go. And owls as well. There's 5 main types of owls as well that we get in this country. That's the barn owl, the tawny owl, the little owl, the long-eared owl, and the short-eared owl as well. So maybe in the evenings, it's when it starts to get dark, because they're going to be out and about a bit more now because it's breeding season. Maybe you could listen out for some owls if you get the chance. What she eats in the cat sorts of meat, so she might have mice or rats, that sort of thing, a bit of chicken as well. In the wild, she would catch things like rabbits, jackrabbits. She would catch small ground dwelling birds, so birds that live on the ground, lizards and snakes as well. They've got very, very tough feet. If I can try and show you, ooh, not very good with this camera, look. Show you her feet a bit more. Do you see those bright yellow scaly feet? Very, very sharp feet. There you are. See that? And that means that protects her.
Oh, I think we've lost the feed there to Laura. But wasn't that fantastic to see the hawk live from Kingston Moorwood Manor Park? And we might have her back. Oh, hey, Laura, we're back.
Sorry. There you go. Sorry. Yeah, I was just telling you about her feet. So her feet protect her from the lizards and snakes that might try and bite her as well. How long do they live for? Good question. Again, in captivity, because they are protected from the elements and from we're always obviously feeding them and looking after them. They can live into the ripe old age of late 40s. In the wild, they don't live that long, maybe 5 or 6. But again, of course, they've got 5 or 6 years in the wild, flying free, compared to captivity. Obviously, we try and make them as comfortable and happy as possible. But, you know, it's weighing up those 2 different options. Do you like this job? Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't just work with birds of prey here. I work with lots of different animals at the park, the pigs and the sheep. Some of you have probably visited the park in the past as well. We've got wallabies, we've got baby wallabies, we've got joeys at the moment as well. We've just had some piglets born. Maybe I could send some pictures over to Mr Spracklen and he could show you of the baby piglets. We've got Rhea, all sorts here as well. So we're looking forward to opening again in the future, and maybe you could all come and visit us at some point. How big will she get? This is as big as she will get. She won't grow any bigger now. Being a female, she's much bigger than the males are, because she's got to be the strong one. She's got to carry the eggs and look after the youngsters and help hunt as well. With birds of prey, the males are usually the smaller ones, whereas with mammals, it's often the other way around. It's usually the males that are the bigger ones and the females are the smaller ones, but it's the other way around with birds of prey. How fast can she fly? So when she's flying, she can usually reach around 40 miles an hour. So fairly fast, but compared to something like a peregrine falcon, not that fast. They can reach nearly 300 miles an hour. Very, very, very quick birds. How big are her wings? So her wingspan, again, I'll try and open her wings for you, try and show them off a little bit. With birds, it's always surprising how big their wings actually are. Even something like a barn owl, when they open their wings right up, it's quite shocking how wide their wingspan is. Phoebe's wingspan is about 5 foot. So you know, quite a width, so that allows her to glide through the air and use those lovely thermals, which are rising currents of hot air. If she was up in the sky, she'd be able to glide very, very nicely, and that stops her using too much energy. How old are they when they have eggs? Oh, that's a really, really good question. So it depends, really. Phoebe and Emma, they're 11 now, and they've never actually laid an egg. It looks like they've tried to make a nest before, but they haven't actually laid an egg before. Usually they start laying eggs when they're about 2-3 years old. So maybe in the future they might decide that they want to lay some eggs. We might get a male Harris hawk here as well too, and they could all live together as a pack. That would be a good idea. We could try and fly them all together as well. We've also got, I think I said at the beginning, we've also got Loki, our Indian or Bengal eagle owl, who lives here at the park as well. And he comes out occasionally. He's not as easygoing as Phoebe here. He would be a bit more fidgety, which is why I didn't bring him out to meet you today. I thought I'd bring Phoebe, who's a little bit more settled. What does it eat? She eats meat. She'll only eat meat. She doesn't eat veg or anything like that. She won't eat plants. She eats chicken, mice, rats, that sort of thing as well. So
we've got a few people saying hello, so I'm just going to say a few shout outs to a few people. Good morning to Jessica and Joshua, who are enjoying this. Good morning from Lexi. Good morning from Molly. Hello from Sarah, who's watching. Thank you for joining us this morning. Thomas has been watching. Janet says that this is really cool. Lots of people saying hello this morning. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been wonderful to see Phoebe the hawk. We've got another question here. What is the smallest bird of prey?
Oh, that's smallest bird of prey in the world. Well, that's a really good question. There's a pygmy falcon, African pygmy falcon. That's tiny, really, really small. In this country, we have things like kestrels, which are very small. We also have the merlin, which is a type of falcon, which is very, very small as well.
And we've got hello from Lily, and it's wonderful to see so many people joining us. Laura, can I say a massive thank you for leading our assembly this morning? And
thank you.
Very special thank you to Phoebe. What a wonderful guest. She's been so well behaved.
She has, yeah.
You're going to get any treat for being so well behaved?
Say that again.
Is she going to get a treat for being so well behaved?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. We're going to go have a walk in the sun in a minute as well, aren't we, Phoebe?
Thank you so very much. It's been wonderful to have you with us. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll be back at 4 o'clock with Today at Power. And don't forget, you can watch our live broadcasts from the Chick Cam. It's great to see so many people joining us. The Devils are saying that they love visiting Kingston Morwood and Anapop Park. Mrs. Thorpe and Phoebe are watching. Thank you for watching. Ethan is watching as well. So a big hello to everyone. We will see you again, everyone. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.